I now give the floor to the representative of Greece.
Thank you, Madam President. I would like to commend Sierra Leone for convening this timely meeting. Your presence, Your Excellency, underscores the importance of today's discussion. On this International Day for Preventing the Exploitation of Environment in War and Armed Conflict, the briefings we just heard from Ms. Anderson, Executive Director of UNEP, Professor Jallo, and Ms. Dinat, to whom we express our appreciation, remind us how closely environmental degradation, conflict, and insecurity are intertwined. Undoubtedly, the climate crisis, with its systemic and cross-cutting impacts, already represents one of the main threats to short and long-term socioeconomic stability and a major driver of global insecurity. It is therefore essential to adopt a broader understanding of the direct and indirect threats states must defend against, one that fully incorporates climate security. The climate, peace and security interplay has been debated in the United Nations since 2007, yet evidence suggests otherwise. Even a 1 degree Celsius rise in temperature can heighten risks of interpersonal and intergroup violence, while according to science, there is a strong chance of the global temperature rise to exceed 1.5 degrees Celsius within the next few years. Climate and conflict are fast becoming the new coordinates of global security. As the UN Secretary General rightly acknowledged, climate change might not be the source of all ills, but it has a multiplier effect and is an aggravating factor for instability, conflict, and terrorism. In fragile regions, rising temperatures, drought, sea level rise, and extreme weather events are undermining water and food security, threatening socioeconomic stability, hindering the full enjoyment of human rights, and fueling political tensions. There is no shortage of examples. In Syria, the 2006-2010 drought devastated agriculture and forced thousands to migrate to cities, a dynamic that may have added to the socio-economic tensions preceding the 2011 civil war. In sub-Saharan Africa, competition over dwindling resources intensified clashes between nomadic herders and resident farmers. In Mozambique, recurring cyclones fueled internal displacement and violence. Extreme weather events destabilize fragile governments, drain public funds, and cripple essential services such as healthcare, education, and security, creating a vicious cycle of poverty, mistrust, and radicalization. Recognizing this, besides of the UN Climate Security Mechanism, many actors are integrating climate security links into their defense strategies. The European Union's Climate Change and Defense Roadmap, NATO's 2022 Strategic Concept and Climate Change and Security Center of Excellence launched in 2024, and the African Union PSC's Africa Climate Security Risk Assessment are key examples. Yet, despite the growing awareness of the climate, peace and security nexus, implementation remains far behind ambition. The most glaring gap lies in financing. While political declarations multiply, resources remain limited. Investing in climate security means, among others, reducing conflict and forced displacement, mitigating emissions, strengthening the resilience of vulnerable communities, and supporting fragile countries to adopt and recover, neutralizing threats at their roots. This requires mobilizing finance domestically and globally. However, the Fourth International Conference on Financing for Development in Seville last July showed how insufficient the global response remains. Declining development assistance for vulnerable countries demands urgent reflection on global priorities. Meanwhile, the UN system itself faces pressure at a moment when stronger multilateral coordination between the security, sustainable development, and climate agendas is most needed. Recognizing that peace and security today extends well beyond the military dimension, encompassing climate, environmental, social, and economic aspects, compels us to urgently redefine our national and collective priorities. This broader vision can guide us toward a renewed understanding of what security and peace mean today and how they can be achieved. In closing, Madam President, to confront the interconnected challenges of our time, we must move beyond a narrow view of security. Only an integrated approach that recognizes climate change as a systemic threat to global stability can safeguard peace and prosperity for future generations. I thank you.
I thank the representative of Greece for his